Hi, this is Natural Solutions with another opportunity to go gluten-free. We're going to make gluten-free biscuits. We're going to use this flour here. It's Bob's Red Mill. If I can hold it still, there's a glare on it. It says gluten-free Bob's Red Mill baking flour. You get this at Big Lots. It's in Annapolis, it's about what, $7.80.
Yeah.
And I have my lovely assistant here, and she's going to actually read what we do. We're going to have these ingredients, and so if you're a man, I'm going to show you the easiest way to make gluten-free biscuits. Because when you go gluten-free, the one thing you want is bread. Just like I've given up all this wheat, barley, rye, and oats because I'm obeying Dr. Wallach's 90 for life message. I'm eating right and taking the tangy tangerine and the healthy start pack and all that. But I'm missing my bread. I'm going crazy.
Yes.
And so go ahead and read off the ingredients.
So the first thing you need to do is preheat the oven for 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And you need to have 2 1/2 cups of Bob's Red Mill baking mix, and 2 1/2 tablespoons of baking powder, 1/2 tablespoon of baking soda,
All right.
teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup, 1 stick of butter, but you have to cut in like 1/4 inch.
Yeah, so what we do is we take the butter up and cut like one pat into like a square where it's 4 different pats of butter for that one slice. So we slice up the butter, you know, and then we're going to slice it up, each slice into 4 slices, and that's how we mix that in. And now just a special note, because Dr. Wallach teaches that when you use soda, it lowers the stomach acid. So a lot of times I leave the baking soda off. It doesn't change the taste that much. And it still works without it, or I can use like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the baking soda. And so you judge how you want to do that, okay? All right. So the first thing that we need to do is what?
You need to put 2 1/2 cups of Bob's Red Mill baking mix.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually take a cup. And we're going to get 2 1/2 cups
You're going to put it in here
into the handy dandy mixing bowl here. So that's 1 cup. I might have to open the other basket here while she's hooking up the actual mixer. Okay. So we got 1 cup, and then we got about 2 cups. And then, of course,
you're going to need to open up a new one.
1/2 cup here to end it up with. Well, I'm probably going to open up. You got the scissors over there. Or you want to just open it up by hand?
Yeah, let's open it up by hand.
I don't trust myself. I'm going to fly.
Hope it don't fly everywhere.
I think it will. So what I'm going to do is, hold on. We're going to get some scissors. We're going to get this open. Okay, now we added the, go ahead and read this. This one's empty, so we can go ahead and keep going.
Yes. Now we will need 2 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder.
Okay, so this is the baking, the teaspoon thing here. So we're gonna, I like to add a little baking powder, a little more. So this is 2, 1, 2.
And just put 1/2 teaspoon.
And then another one.
Yep, but you got extra because we like ours to rise.
Fluffy. I want mine fluffy. So this is not gluten. We're doing everything from scratch, and so this is the baking powder here. You know what? The old school baking powder. You can get that. You know, you can get that anywhere. You know, Aldi's, or you can get that at any major store. But we like Aldi's because it's cheaper. Okay, now what do we do next?
Now we need 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, but you can put as much as you want in there. But
1/2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I put the baking powder in.
But baking soda.
Okay, so this is the baking soda. Okay, so now we have the baking soda. It gives it a nice flavor, but the problem with the baking soda is it can lower your stomach acid. And the lower your stomach acid, the less you absorb nutrients. So I'm just going to add a little fraction of a fraction just for the sake of the video, you know, but not the whole measurement, because you really don't have to have that. Okay.
Now we will need 2 teaspoons of sugar.
2 teaspoons of sugar.
Yes.
Hey, guess what, y'all? The sugar that we get is from Walmart. This is the raw sugar cane, and it's better. You don't want to use just regular old sugar. Go eat as close to the dirt in the ground as you can. Get the raw sugar, something like that. Now, she said teaspoons, right? But check this out. We kind of like it a little sweeter, don't we?
Yeah.
So here's a teaspoon. Here's a teaspoon right here. I just pour it there. I put it in the video. Now I put the sugar in. Just kind of eyeball it.
Yeah.
That's a little bit. Okay, because we want our biscuits to have. So
You don't want to be too sweet.
Well, I mean, but you can do your flavor that you want to do. You can go by the instructions, or you can go by what you want to eat. Because you know how you like it.
Yep.
Okay, now what else?
Now we are going to need 1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay, teaspoon of salt. And we got the salt from Aldi's. Just Aldi's is just getting off the hook. They're getting some free. They need to give me something, you know, because I'm just talking about them all the time. And so this is why you need to have the little measuring teaspoon. The teaspoon comes in handy here. And so here we go. I'm adding the salt. And salt's good, by the way. You want that salt, you know. If you're having trouble with salt, then give us a call at 317-892-9311, and we'll tell you how not to swell up and what you need, how you're lacking the protein in your body and how to get that. So yeah, we put the salt in there. Now what else do we need?
Now we were going to need, we need to cut up the butter in 1/4 inches.
Okay, so you go ahead and start cutting up the butter, okay? You go ahead and get right over here and start cutting up it's a whole stick of butter, right? Or is it a half stick?
Whole stick.
A whole stick of butter. So you go ahead and take the peeling out.
So you'll need the butter,
all right.
Salted butter. And
Oh yeah, we want salted butter because I don't want unsalted anything. I want it to be the real deal, Holyfield. Okay.
Yep. Now,
and one of the things we forgot about was that to whisk it, and I'm gonna show you that whisk so we can mix.
Yes. So what you'll need to do is just bring out your butter, so it look like that. Get a butter knife, cut it like about right there.
Okay, you want to bring it closer so they can see. So it's just a perfect little square. Okay, and then you can cut that up into 4
cut
pieces.
it in half.
And then cut it in half again.
And then cut it like
in half again. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this little utensil so all the dry ingredients is mixed evenly. So we're going to take that and then we're going to mix that up while she's cutting up the butter so that all the dry ingredients is mixed. So with the flour and with the gluten-free Bob's Red Mill baking flour, you want to make sure you use that because it doesn't taste right if you use some other flour that doesn't make good biscuits, okay? Because we done had trial and error and now we know how to do it right. And so that's why we're doing this video, because we know how to do it right.
And we get our flour from Big Lots.
Big Lots. Okay, next we're going to take 2 eggs and we're going to crack them. And we're not going to put the crack part, but you know, just regular eggs. And guess where we get the eggs?
Aldi's.
All right. All right. Here we go. If you have your own chickens, that's even better. Okay,
oh, yeah, because it's fresh from the chicken.
Yeah, okay, here we go. We're going to put the eggs in there. All right. Got a little into our little bowl here, and then what's the next ingredient?
Now,
let's use that.
Now all we'll need is 3/4 cup of milk, but we use rice milk, and we get it from Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart. We use Rice Dream, okay, and this is wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, it comes out. Okay.
So it says 3/4, but we just like to add a cup.
Yeah, we just do a cup. Just do a cup. Okay, here we go. Go ahead. Right there.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Now we just pour it in the batter.
A lovely cup. I just want you to see that milk shimmering.
Yeah.
I don't want to shimmer it and drop it, but here we go. We're going to add that in. And then what else do we do?
Now, all we got to do is put it in the mixer.
Okay, so what we got to do is we got to take this butter that we cut up into the little squares, and we add that in as well. And we're going to mix all that in.
Yeah, don't forget your butter.
Yeah, without that, it's not going to be right.
It probably might not be right, yeah.
And it won't be right.
Yeah, it won't.
I don't want no biscuits without no butter now. Come on.
Okay, now all we have to do is just add the mixers.
Yeah, we're going to put these little sticks on here. You know, for those that don't know, now if you already know, that's fine. But go ahead and put that on there. And what we do is we got extra flour because we're going to need that extra flour to handle You know, we got to put some flour on the table, so we're going to clear some things away, put some flour on the table. We got the old school rolling pin. You know, you don't want to mess with that woman in the kitchen and make her upset. So you hit you with that rolling pin.
Yeah.
So we got that. You've seen that on cartoons. But and so now you can go ahead and start the process here.
Yep. So
and we always try to mix it on
one.
Oh yeah, one because it really moves and you don't want it flying up. Okay, go ahead.
Now we are done mixing. So now all we have to do is just take all the biscuit out of the mix.
Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to put some flour on the table as well, because in order to really get the biscuits how you want them, you don't want the flour sticking to the table. And so this is where kind of, you know, people have gotten away from stuff because they don't like the mess of it. You know, but it's really not that bad once you practice. And so what we do is we take a little flour and we just put it on the table and we mix it around because we're going to lay that flour on the table. Now, what we do is we clean up as we go. So that way we're not stuck with a big old mess. And so we got the flour mixed out, you know, and it really wipes up with a nice wet rag. It's not really a big deal. Okay?
And then all you got to do is just take out the mixers.
Okay, you go ahead and get that flour in that right down there. Use a spatula.
So this is what you want the batter to look like, the consistently that you want it to look like. Then all you need is your spatula and just put all this out on the table.
You know, now just so you understand, I'm 40 at this time, 49 years old at the shooting of this video, and my assistant is 10 years old. And she's actually done the biscuits 100%, made those without my help at all. So if a 10-year-old can make gluten-free biscuits and use all these processes, we have no excuse. I mean, there's no reason why everyone can't do this, okay? Because we took it from the easy bake oven. Now this is where you need the extra flour because the batter is so sticky that it sticks to your hands. So we take this flour, see, we're gonna take the flour, you know, out the bag here, and we're gonna sprinkle it over the top so that we're able to handle the flour, because if not, it'll just stick to everything. And so now,
that'll be a big mess.
And now we're able to handle the flour because it's not too hard to handle. So then what we do is we press it down. See, we're pressing it down a little bit, and I put a little flour that's on the table and just go kind of over so in case the areas are sticky. And so now I'm able to take the rolling pin. I don't like my biscuits too thin. So I'm going to just kind of roll it out like this. And this is going to shock you. Everyone can go on Amazon and get a biscuit cutter. But for those guys that are guys, you know, you don't have all the luxury of the biscuit cutters and stuff. I mean, we learned. But guess what? We got, what is this called?
A glass cup.
It's a glass cup. Now, where do we get the cup?
Walmart.
Walmart. So it's Walmart and all these are Big Lots. I mean,
Walmart, Arby's, and Big Lots.
Pretty much all our videos, there's a few items in Meyer that we did with. But look, all you do, now we're going to take this pan here and we're going to lay the biscuits on the pan. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot.
It looks like this.
You know, just the pan. But we still need the cup mixer.
Yep, and you'll also need a cup mixer.
And we also need a fork.
So yeah, so now all we gotta do is get the cup and the regular cup from Walmart, probably about, I don't know, probably $1 maybe, and just cut.
Yeah.
And then you want to get your spatula because it might kind of
Okay, and matter of fact, what we want to do is we want to rinse this spatula off because we don't want it to be hard to work with. So keep cutting the biscuits.
Okay, so then just cut it. Cut.
Okay, now we're going to take the pan and we'll take the, if you want to move the,
That came out.
Okay, we want to move this out the way so that we can put the pan over here. Go ahead and unplug this real quick. We can have some room. Move this out the way. And just want to show you that we can lay the pan over there, and we can just pick the biscuits up and see. We can have one biscuit at a time, and we're going to actually top the biscuits off. We're going to poke a little hole and rub a little rice milk over the top of the biscuits, just a little bit. So what we have is we got just a little brush like this. Got a little brush, so we dip it in the rice milk, and then we're going to brush the top of the biscuit, and then she's going to poke holes in it, and she's going to be working on that. Okay, so you can be working on that while we're working on the biscuits. And then as you run out of room, all you do is when the batter's used up, then you just ball it back up again, and you can make more biscuits. And then at the end, you just make a big, lovely biscuit. A big, lovely, lovely biscuit.
So all you gotta do
I think I need
is
a little bit more flour.
Poke a little bit of holes in there.
I think I need a little bit more flour on this biscuit here.
Need some more biscuits.
All right. Now here we go. All right. And so this is real important to understand how this is. It's a process, but I'm telling you, it's nothing more empowering and rewarding for making. And these biscuits taste, I mean,
they taste so good. They taste like regular biscuits. And
sometimes even better than the regular biscuits.
Yes, they taste they taste better than the other ones.
Right. And so when they taste better than the regular biscuits, it's not hard to want to make them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, they are so good. Everyone.
I'm just adding flour as needed to work with it, because it's a little bit. We made it a little bit wetter than we needed to, and so I'm just adding a little more flour to kind of make it workable. And so I just ball it back up again, and we're just, oh yeah, it's working now. Okay, I ball it back up again, and we just put the biscuits on the pan, and she works it as we continue to make the biscuits here. The oven is already preheated. I mean, it's it's a little bit messy, but look, I mean, we are making biscuits here, and it's a wonderful thing. So what the next phase is, after we poke the holes and rub the milk on the top of the biscuits, then we're going to put it in the oven, and then we're going to pull it out. It's about 18 minutes. Now, when you're all done, sometimes you have a little extra flour left over, and I call this a daddy biscuit, because sometimes it's going to be bigger than the rest. And so I just hand pat me a big, really big, lovely big biscuit. And what we do is we just put it on the pan. And I say that's the daddy biscuit. It's ugly, but we're not going to waste any flour. So go ahead and poke the holes in there. And now you want to put the rice milk into the bowl. And you want to go ahead and rub that off.
Rice milk?
Okay.
Now you just want to pour just a tad.
Just a tad.
You don't want to use up all your rice milk.
And we don't want it to get it too wet either. So we're just going to touch it, okay? We're just touching the biscuits. Go ahead. You go ahead and do that. I like it when I have an assistant. But remember how we can make it too wet and it can start to drip. Because our actual biscuit pan has holes in the bottom as well. But if you have one that doesn't have holes in the bottom, that's fine. And so you don't want to over wet the biscuits. But the reason why you want to put some milk or something on top of the biscuits is because this kind of flour, it won't show that it's brown. And so when you brush the milk over the top of the biscuit, it actually lets you see when when the biscuits are getting brown, and so that you can kind of judge, because not every oven is going to be precisely exactly to the fraction the same temperature, even though it's going to be close. And you want to be able to make a judgment call on how done you want your biscuits. Some people like theirs lightly done, medium, and some people like it crispy. Now we like ours kind of lightly done, and no more than a little medium, but kind of more lightly done. So here we go. We're ready to put this in the oven, and this is what it looks like: gluten-free biscuits. So see, we're not suffering, and we don't want no one else to suffer going gluten-free. Okay, if we can do it, I'm 49 and a 10-year-old assistant, you can do it too. We'll see you back in about 18. All right, here we go. We have our biscuits, and it was a little bit less than 18 minutes. But this is what I say why you want to watch your biscuits. They don't look like the perfect biscuit, but I mean, they taste like it and they smell like it. And I mean, really, they really taste, because when I ask people on a scale from 1 to 10, how do they taste? What do most people say?
About 10. or a 9.
Yeah, 10 or a 9.
10.
And I'm like, regular biscuits taste like a 10 or 9. So here you go. And if you want more information, you can contact us at 317-892-9311. This is Natural Solutions. So if you want to go gluten-free and you want to be healthy and you want to not just go gluten-free, but you have to meet the 90 for life message halfway. You know, you got to get the 90 nutrients in your body with the secret sauces for what you're dealing with. We know how to reverse up to 900 different diseases. Oh, that's my oven going off. Hold on 1 second.
And
anyway, well, thank you, lovely assistant, for stalling for me. But you got to go gluten-free. You got to avoid the nitrates and the nitrites in the meat. And you got to avoid the oil. Just use butter or lard for cooking with. And yeah, avoid all wheat, barley, rye, and oats, and then get your 90 nutrients. So that way, your program will work for you in a quicker way, in a better way, and in a permanent way.
yes.
All right.
That's right.
So we thank you for listening and looking at what we were doing, and hopefully you'll start to do gluten-free biscuits just like us, as well as the other videos that we have. And do you want to eat one of these?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Oh, gluten-free biscuits. Go ahead.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's nice and hot.
Oh, just lovely. See you next time.
Bye.